Welcome to my new background. Before anything, this is the first time I've ever done this, and this is a lot more useful than I thought. But that's not the point of this video. Today we are going to talk about my top 5 best things in 2025. So I know new year, new me, a lot of people have new hair, new haircuts, new hair colors. But these 5 things, so they're not cosmetic things either, are just 5 things which I think were relatively impactful throughout 2025. Some were not as I would expect, and some were maybe better than I expected. So let's start off with number 1. It's this thing. So this is an air blower. Lots of people will use it only for cleaning a computer. This one, however, is broken now. But I had this for most of 2024, and it broke just in like November or October. I didn't realize how useful it was until after it broke. So I tend to clean my desk, like I wipe it down once a week. But sometimes dust can just accumulate a bit rapidly, especially in our country. So this just comes in very handy when it's just some kind of light work that needs to be done. And of course it doesn't deep clean, but you're just dusting a little bit. I would also use it, again it's broken now. I'd also use it as like a hair dryer because hot air is actually not good for your hair at all. So it's actually very nice because it's cool air, because it's not a hair dryer. There's no heating element. It just pushes air around. So this thing was very very useful throughout 2024. 2025. When I got it, it definitely didn't feel like something that, oh, I will use this every day. But the more that I had it on me, I would even sometimes bring it along with me on my bag. It actually became more of a daily driver, because sometimes it is just fun to just blow dust away. But it's actually pretty nice when you're able to like clean surfaces, even if it's that much, just a quick dusting off of something. Because of that, I actually bought this. This is the Wolfbox MF100. This is $100 air blower, and I don't know, but this is actually very very powerful. It's a lot more powerful than you would expect from something this small. So I'm so glad to have this. This is made very sturdily. It feels very strong, and it's very compact and outstanding for an air blower. So that's number 1 on our list. It is an air blower. Number 2 on my list is actually something very specific, but its impact is something impactful. So I know many people never suffer from an ingrown nail. Good for you guys. I have been having ingrown nails since high school, I guess. Part of it is because my shoe size is not something that's readily available in our country. But regardless of that, regardless of the reason why, I've had ingrown nails for a while. I've had it under control for a couple of years. But last year, it actually got so bad that I had to get a minor surgery where they had to cut all the way down to the nail bed and remove the ingrown nail. So number 2 on our list is this thing. It is an ingrown nail preventer, or it's like a splint or something. It's just something as easy as this. You just insert it into the part of your nail which you expect will have an ingrown, or you can feel that there's an ingrown. And I don't know, some people say it doesn't work. I am not one of those people. I have used this. You just put it in and you forget. You actually just keep it in your toenail until it grows out. And I've used it on both my big toes. It works wonders. After the first day, it's just uncomfortable for just one day, but it is not painful. After the first or second day, you do not feel it at all. So you feel like really you were given your toe back. So if you suffer from ingrown nails a lot, to the point where it is cumbersome, it annoys you, it disturbs you, it gives you pain, this is definitely something top of my list, especially when it comes to that. So, number two, ingrown nail thing. I don't know what it's called. Number three is another kind of situational thing, but in that situation, it is actually very, very useful, important, and outstanding. And it's also a gift from my mom to me. And it is this small bag. So, this small bag is a waterproof travel bag. And it has a lot of smart compartments here in the back, and this whole part which folds is actually, it can open up to be a bigger compartment, and this is actually the main compartment of the bag. I do not know where my mom bought this. Maybe she bought this in Korea, but this thing is outstanding. You can wear it in multiple ways. You can rearrange the straps, you can move it from one side to the other depending on how you want to wear it, or you want to maybe use it as like a fanny pack. That's also possible. But what is the point? This thing is so useful when you're traveling because you want all of your very important things to be really close to your person. And I might say this looks a lot better than a fanny pack. So this thing looks very sleek. If I'm wearing a jacket, it's easily hidden in one side. Most of the time, you would like to wear your bag in the front. When there are pickpockets, they are very crafty. So better keep all your important belongings in a very important place. More important than your pockets, especially your back pocket. So this thing, I would usually put my passport somewhere very secure where you would not be able to steal it unless you are literally physically assaulting me before you would be able to steal from something inside this bag. Aside from that, because of my condition, I do need to carry around a lot of medications, a lot of lotions to help me along the day. And I think that it becomes even more important as you're traveling. So I wouldn't say it's all about comfort, but it's all about preventing flare up. It's about preventing the worst case scenario. So having all of your medicine, having all of your lotion in a very secure place, while also not ever letting that bag out of your sight, out of your person. This thing is really one of my top 5 things in the whole year, even if I only went on one trip last year. Or was it only one? Probably only one. With the bag. I have an honorable mention in that category though. I'm not a big fan, or I didn't used to be a big fan. But when you are traveling, it doesn't seem so important. But once you try it, it is very important. A travel pillow. So, when I went to the States, it was a 22-hour long flight or travel or whatever. And I don't think I had a travel pillow, but I was younger then, so I didn't feel as much pain as I do now. But in that moment, you don't realize that, well, you can just choose to not have neck pain on a flight. And that's where a travel pillow comes in very, very handy. When I was younger and I went on a lot of like cultural exchange programs, a neck pillow is really not something that I really cared about. And maybe I just expected that, hey, some neck pain is just what happens when you are on a plane at all. But as I grow a bit older, I realized, yeah, you don't actually need to have neck pain because you can just wear a neck pillow. And it really does support your neck throughout the flight. So, again, honorable mention, neck pillow. Number 2 on the list is actually not something that I bought in or got in 2025. This thing is actually something that I've had for multiple years, and I'm putting it on the list just because of the longevity and it is this shaver. So I was given this shaver. It's a Philips razor. I don't know what model this is. I think that I've had this thing since high school. This thing is so strong, it's so high quality that this part actually disattaches. And when I was in high school, when I was shaving, I accidentally did this. It was the time I discovered that the top part takes off. I don't know what I was doing. It fell off. It fell out of my window and into my neighbor's yard. And I just let go. I moved back to shaving with razors. I was too shy to go into our neighbor's yard. And like around 6 months or a year later, when I was doing some yard work for that neighbor, I go there, and as I was doing yard work, I was working in the soil. I actually found the shaver head again, and I cleaned it up, and it still works. I just replaced the blades, and it still works fine. Outstanding. Nothing happened. Like, even the mechanism, which takes off and goes back in, of course, this was very exposed to the elements, in the mud, in the dirt. Nothing happened. And the whole time that I've had this shaver, that was the only time I've ever replaced the blades. I know that you're supposed to replace the blades frequently. I don't think I've ever felt the need to. I don't need it to be so, like, what you call it, so thin, like it's a skinhead thin. But even though it's not, it is still so smooth until now. I don't know what you guys use to shave. I know a lot of people use shaving cream. Some people are weird and they use shampoo or conditioner. I don't use that. All I use is either my bare skin, or I use powder to help it glide across my face. And it just works wonders. I've had this exact same shaver for the past more than 10 years. It's already 2026. It's been more than 10 years. And I've had the same shaver. So, I have tried to replace it. As you can see, it is wired. I have tried to replace it many times with a remote shaver. A wireless shaver that, like, you can charge it with USB-C. You can power it with like AA batteries. And those, especially when it's getting weaker, it doesn't give you as clean of a shave. And for a lot of them, even fully charged, it doesn't even give that same experience when you shave. It's like it hurts when you shave. So it doesn't feel like it's doing a good job. This shaver, however, regardless, of course, because it's plugged in, but when you are using it, does not hurt at all. It is perfection, this shaver. The only thing that I would change is if it was not wired. I'm doing my best to change my desk setup so that nothing is wired anymore except for the things that need to be. So my mouse, my keyboard is wireless. So this thing, it just annoys me that I have to have that wire, but the quality is always the same. It is perfect. So that's number 2 on our list. It is a shaver. Before we get to number 1 on the list, I have another honorable mention. So my honorable mention overall, not specific to any category, is actually credit cards. And growing up, we were actually taught to despise credit cards. And I actually do kind of despise credit cards. But maybe more accurately, I just despise spending money in general. But the beauty of credit cards, which I discovered this year, I didn't use them a lot before, but using credit cards in a smart way, I actually appreciate them a lot. Despite the fact that most of our reward systems in the Philippines really suck, I think if you use and you have the ability to use credit cards well, it actually allows you to do very interesting things with money. But again, the reason it's an honorable mention, there is a caveat. it is not for everyone if you do not have the ability to maintain your credit card. Not all credit cards are made equal. Not all credit card companies are made equal either. A lot of credit card companies suck. A lot of credit card companies are kind of predatory. But despite these people, these companies being predatory, you can take advantage of the benefits that they offer. So, if you're able to do that, if you have the discipline not to overspend, not the moment that you see, oh wow, 100,000 limit, so that means I have 100,000 pesos. No, you don't have 100,000 peso. You have 100,000 credit limit. That's not money in your pocket. So as long as you remember that and you don't go past your spending or your budget, credit cards are fine. But if not, if you do not have the ability, if you're someone that looks at Shopee and you need to, I need to, buy, then you you do not need a credit card. Thank you. So number one on the list is actually this. This is a Xiaomi robot vacuum. I'm so sorry. I've taken it outside of its home. Okay, you can go. You can go home now. I'm so sorry. Because of my condition, I have a lot of dandruff, or there's a lot of flakes that fall off of my skin. It is not something I enjoy, and especially when it was very, very bad, it is not something I enjoyed cleaning up either. So I know most people don't even sweep every day. But when my condition was very bad, especially at the start of the year in 2025, I don't think that you should need to clean or sweep your room every hour or 3 times a day. Maybe if you're a neat freak, that would be normal for you. But in my case, it was like every other day. Um, or maybe ideally it should be like every day. But in the robot vacuum's case, because I have a robot vacuum, since I got it, every day I come home to clean floors in my room. I think it's easy to ignore how dusty floor is. But I think it would be very clear if you're very clean. But maybe if you're not clean, like if you just are barefoot in your room, it's very, very clear when your room is not clean. It's very clear when there's like a lot of debris on the floor because you can feel it. Why would you bring that dirt onto your bed as you sleep? When I got this thing, it was really life changing, I would say, because your floor is just always clean. And it's not perfect. It does not like in one pass. So like in the size of my room, it takes like 20-30 minutes for one cycle. It doesn't clean the whole room in one cycle. But heads up, you are not in your room the whole day, especially if you go to work. Unless you work from home, when you are in at home or maybe your whole studio, there's probably some time that you're not there. So you can just automate it and just tell it, yo, every 5 p.m. do a cycle. Whenever I leave for work, do a cycle. It's that simple. It cleans when you're not there. You come home to a clean room. So it's really it was really nice. It was a bit expensive. It was actually a purchase I made in December. It was a Christmas gift to myself. I bought it in like December or November of 2024, but it's been a very, very impactful thing in 2025. So that is my top 5 list of top 5 things in 2025. It has been a very interesting year, and those 5 things were a lot more impactful than I actually thought they would be. So thank you so much for listening to this top 5 list, and I'll see you in the next one. Peace.